It's mute again.
Yeah, a very good afternoon, a very good day, a very good evening. I don't know where you are listening from. This is Matarinda Wokwashumba, creating the Africa that we want. King Fazan, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, lovely. We had just a technical hiccup, so I was just trying to fix it in the background. I hope we are ready today. In studio with me is King Fazan Ajo, the author of 40 Voters' Commandments. Okay, I can hear something on the background. Okay, that's fine. So we have got the author of 40 Voters' Commandments, King Fazan Ajo. And just looking at the situation in Africa, Zimbabwe and South Africa right now, they are planning for elections. Zimbabwe, that's next year, and South Africa, that's in 2024. And we are all wondering, why are we voting? Do young people know the reasons why they are voting? Why they go to elections and who they should elect? It's quite a debatable question, because most young people that I speak to have given up in voting. They don't know why they should keep on voting in Africa. What does the package include when you vote a candidate? What then? When you wake up in the morning and you don't have a job after voting in a candidate, what do we do after that? How do we select the right candidate? How do we know this candidate is the right candidate? Because when they are all campaigning, thing is they lie about a lot of things. They don't deliver first to say, okay, this is my CV. For the past 5 years, this is what I've been doing at personal capacity, business, or community. This is what I've done. Can you put me in that position so that I can be able to deliver more? No, somebody will just come from their political party and say, vote me in. And we are supposed to vote them in to give them a chance. Then they can prove themselves. We don't know whether the person is going to deliver or not when we vote. So how do we find ways to make sure that our leaders are accountable for things that they say when they are campaigning? And joined in, like I said, is King Fazan Ajo, the author of 40 Voters' Commandments. This, I know we are used to the 10 commandments. Now we have 40 of them. These are not your biblical, but for the voters in Africa and around the world. Welcome to the show, King Fazan. How are you doing?
I'm very well, Queen Shumba. Thank you again for the opportunity you have given me to be part of your great show, and also thank you for the people who are watching at home. And I'm really privileged to be here to talk to you guys about the 40 Voters' Commandment. Like Queen Shumba said before, we already have the 10 commandments in the Bible, but then now these are 40 commandments that every person must know before voting anybody into office. And just like the 10 commandments in the Bible, anybody that follows them, their lives are fine. When we say their lives are fine, because each and every of the commandment in the Bible is meant for us. For example, there is a commandment in the Bible that said, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." If I stay away from people's wives, it's my benefit, man. I'm not gonna be in trouble with anybody. That's right. You understand? So thou shalt not steal. If I do not steal anything from anybody, then I am not in trouble with anybody. So looking at the 40 Voters' Commandment, from commandment 1 to the last commandment, if we follow those commandments very well, there is no way we will make, in fact, it will be impossible for us to vote a wrong person into an office, because those commandments, if you follow them, they are void of sentiment, they are void of personal feelings and all of those stuff. You are not voting somebody in because they go to the same church with you. You are not voting in somebody because they come from the same family with you. All of the 40 commandments, they are just centered on one thing: being able to choose a leader that can take a people or a community from where they are to a better place. So all of the 40 commandments are targeted and they're aimed in doing that. So the introduction of the show, Queen Shimba says something very important that I want to elaborate more on it as I try to introduce myself. She says, why? She made mention of why do we vote? That is the question. The question right there, why? If I do not know why I'm doing something, it doesn't make any sense anymore. Why am I doing it? But if I know why I'm doing it, then there is nothing that will stop me from finishing what I start doing. For example, yes. I'm a lecturer by profession. And anytime I'm lecturing the first year student, one thing I will tell them is that, what is your why of coming to school? If you do not have a why, you should go now. Because when you get to your third year, this place is not going to be pleasant for you. In fact, the waking up early in the morning, going back late in the night, going back late in the evening, and all of those stuff, it's going to be hard for you. So now you must know the why first. So over the years, the political, and listen, I always say this: politics is not a dirty game, and anybody who has that in their mind should just get it off immediately. Politics is not a dirty game. We just allow people with dirty mind, with no vision, to crowd this place called politics. That's why we have agreed that it's a dirty game. It is not. In fact, if there should be, if at all, there should be any sector that should be clean, it should be politics. Because you're dealing with people's future here.
That's right.
Yeah. So the young people must know the why they are voting. And here is the why. The why is, if you refuse to vote, a fool may get into a public office and begin to make decisions on your behalf. If you refuse to vote, what your community will become in the next 5 years is dependent on that simple decision that you did, and you told yourself that now it's none of your business. It's always your business. If it is your community, then it's your business. If you refuse to vote, people with no vision for themselves, people with no vision for the community will now begin to rule over you. And as they begin to rule over you, you will see what you see in many of our communities today. Because when we begin to cry and say our communities are crumbling, look at the people who are leading us. Look at the people who are ruling us. Some of them, they cannot even take care of themselves. How do you expect them to take care of the community? It is not possible.
So before we even decide that this is the person that we're gonna vote into the office, there should be some sort of a selection criteria that we need to follow to say that we have 5 people here that are contesting. What are their attributes? What are their values? What are their aspirations? What have they done in the past? Because the challenge is that sometimes we are just presented with the individuals that we must choose, we must decide from. But then we don't know their backgrounds.
So can I cut you there? Yes. I'm sorry. Can I cut? Yes. Listen.
Yes.
There is nobody without a background. Yeah. We know these people. Listen. The thing is this. Let's start from the nuclear unit. Mm-hmm. Let's say me and you, we are family, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And this is what I remember. A young man sent me an email after the local elections in South Africa. He says, mm-hmm. King Fazen, if only I read your book, I wasn't going to vote my cousin.
That's right.
You understand what I mean? I wasn't going to vote him. Now, let's start from the nuclear level. You are my good friend. We go to the same church. We are in the same meeting. You know very well that when it comes to money, you cannot trust King Fazen.
Yeah.
You could trust King Fazen on anything, but not money. Because if it is money, you give him this month, he will promise you he's going to return it the following month. In fact, he will not return it. That is how much you have known King Fazen. Now we're talking about you and King Fazen, the way you've known King Fazen. And it's not only you that might know me like that in the community. There might be 4 to 5 people that knows me like that in the community. Then all of a sudden, I want to become a counselor. I want to become a counselor. And you, of all people, you are campaigning for me.
Yeah.
You understand? So now, for the fact that you are campaigning for me, it shows that you are not interested in your community. You are interested in maybe the money or whatsoever I might give to you. And that's why I came up with this book called The 40 Voters Commandment. The first person to judge is you.
That's true.
Right? So there is no candidate that falls from the sky. No. All of them.
We already know these people in our communities, what they have done and have not done. But we still, sometimes I think people look at the money the person have and think, no, because he has got millions or some businesses
so I think,
that will impact our people.
Yes.
So we overlook
so I think,
any other of their values or what they've done, which is actually bad or wrong, but simply because the person has got the money to come and invest. So it becomes a challenge in our communities. If people don't know the reasons why they are actually voting, they just look at the person's status. Can be a pastor, or can be a business person. So I really like the idea of you coming up with these commandments, because they will assist our people, especially the young people. I don't always refer to the older generation, because their whole idea of what needs to be done is really, they're not willing to change that.
Yeah. So one of the commandments stated that it's not what he will give to you when he ascends to power, but it's what he will do to this community when he ascends to power that really count. I think that is commandment 5, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it's not what this person will do to you as an individual, right? You might give me $100, right? But if the roads are still messed up, I finish that $100. And tomorrow, my crops are due to take to the city, but there is no good road for me to take my crops to the city. And that will continue to happen. But $100 that you've given to me, I have wasted it already. So who is on the losing side? It is me that is on the losing side. In as much as you gave me $100, how long is it going to take me? How long is it going to take me to finish up $100? But then if you make a road, I am going to benefit from that road. My children are going to benefit from that road. You understand?
So yeah, it's more of taking your individual thoughts and benefits from the equation, but think broadly about the community as a whole. So how many people are willing to that, and how many youth have you reached in terms of making them understand the vision of Africa or of this book?
So it is so amazing how young people receive this book, and their reaction towards it. Yesterday, somebody sent me a message and said, King Fazen, do you know what you've just done? You have taken the power from the microscopic few shady politicians and handed it over into our hands. Now that we know, it will be very hard for us to make a mistake. And it's because of that that I am so determined to make the book so popular, so that not just few young people will read the book, but then a lot of young people, because the reviews are so awesome. And it tells me that we are ready for a change. Because one thing that every person must know, especially the youth must know, is that individual success will never take any community far. But collective success, that is how a group of people win. You look at the Jewish community, they win collectively. The Chinese community, they win collectively. There is no glory at all in being a local champion. And all of these things of I am the first black person to buy a Mercedes Benz in my community, that is useless.
And the youngest.
The youngest.
I think we're in a popularity contest. And I like what you just highlighted. Sorry, I like what you just highlighted about the Jewish and the Chinese community. That's something that I wanted to ask. Why is it so difficult for our people as Black people to think for the community or for a group of people? It's all about the individual successes. We see it all over the world. We are not as united as we try to preach. It's not that easy. Right now, we are talking about voting and young people coming together. Do they understand? We've got a lot of voices speaking about the same thing, but they will not come to say, okay, since we all talking about voting the right candidate, but King Fazan have written the commandments, why can't we come together and buy into this vision and expand as young people under one umbrella? It's not possible. Why is it so difficult for us to unite like the Jewish community, like the Chinese community?
Let's trace that back to the slavery mentality. Our colonial masters, what it did to us. In those days, there were things. There were people that were called the house nigger and the field nigger. So the house niggers were these ones that were serving in the house. They were with their masters, and most of them were more fair in complexion. And then the field niggers, there were those that were darker in complexion. So now what these people did was to make these ones, the house nigger, feel as if he's a little bit better than the field nigger. So now the house nigger will always place himself a little bit higher to that of a field nigger. So as time went on, the field nigger also will want to attain a level of the house nigger. Now, the separation was created. And this separation now, all that everybody was doing now was to seek for what is called individual or self-glory, to be better than another person. Now, when you look at what is happening with our Black race, is that we are always trying to fulfill or fill the vacuum of slavery that is in our head by acquiring some material things that our master has in order to look like our master, so that other people around us will feel small. Do you understand? So now, for the reason why when I meet with you and I begin to tell you about how many degrees I have, it's not for you to know that I have degrees, but it's for you to feel small around me.
That's right.
Now, coming together has become a challenge because when you start a movement, the people around you are not looking at the movement as a channel to save a people, but they're looking at the movement as you seeking for a glory, to be a name or a face of a particular movement. So they're not looking at that as as a channel to save a people. They're looking at it more as a medium of somebody trying to be famous or trying to be popular. Because we look at the lives of Nelson Mandela, their big names, and all of these things. So when they look at a movement, they are not looking at the collective effort of a people, but they are looking at, oh, this person wants to be the next Nelson Mandela. This person wants to be the next Winnie Mandela, and all of those things. So it creates jealousy. Then you will begin to see that within the group, you will see other people creating other groups. Because to them, they are not looking at it as a struggle. They're looking at it as a way of glory. You understand? So it becomes so hard. For example, if we said we are educating young people across Africa about voting, and you said, okay, cool, let's use the 40 Voters Commandment. Now, the next person to you, we said, what is in it for you? Remember the word you. It is not about what is in it for the community. It is what is in it for you. So it has become a cycle. It has become a cycle that it is tormenting us as Black people. We want to do something, but everybody wants to be a hero. A hero of what exactly? We are no more looking for heroes. We had heroes already. We had Robert Mugabe. We have Nelson Mandela. We had Kwame Nkrumah. We had all these heroes, and they did well. They gave us independence. We have it today. But what we do not have is the economic freedom. And it could come with a single person as a hero. It needs all of us.
It needs the whole community now. So how do we now convince a young person who is sitting in a rural Africa that the candidate that they've been voting for the past 10 years is not the right candidate, when that same candidate is the only candidate they see doing the very little that they can? How do we convince them that there's a better candidate? And also bear in mind, I like that you mentioned the likes of Nelson Mandela, the likes of Robert Mugabe. They fought for our independence. We got our independence. A rural person in Africa will always see those people as their heroes, right? It's all tied to independence.
Yeah.
Then they come a young person coming from diaspora or come from wherever they come from, but their ties are not with the independence, or their school of thought is not aligned with the war of liberation or the independence. They are talking something else, which feels like it's aligned to the colonizers or to the West, as we always call them. Your campaign is tied to the West. How do you convince a young person that they can vote for you, even if you are the right candidate, but your background screams like it's being funded by the West or the Europeans? How do we make you fit in?
That's a tough question, because talking about us as Africans, the ties of, I'm one person that doesn't, because I always feel as if they have their interest, and their interest is always not good. Their interest is always to take from a people. And also, we also got to look at the ideologies of freedom that we got from our heroes. I want to answer that part first before we go to the Western sponsorship or whatsoever. So if we look at the first thing that our heroes, they were fighting for independence. They wanted to be free from the colonial rule and all of those stuff. So they fought that, they got it. And now that doesn't mean I must be tied to their root in order for me to gain your vote. Like remember, time changes and the needs of community changes as we progresses. Now, for right now, we are no more struggling for political independence. We are struggling for economic independence. So, in as
That's
much
right.
as let's say I'm in South Africa and I want to become a president, the ideologies of Nelson Mandela might not be my ideologies, because in his days he was fighting for political freedom, but me, I'm fighting for economic freedom. That doesn't mean I'm against whatever he did. It's just that I'm in another dispensation.
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
So now being in another dispensation needs another form of thinking. So if I am trying to convince my people now that okay, cool, it's not just enough to have freedom to roam around the whole of South Africa. It's not just enough to go anywhere I want to go on the country. But then if I own a company,
That's right.
it will be awesome if I own one of these tall buildings in town. So now it has moved from just being able to go to any school as a black person. It has moved to that to like being able to own any school as a black person and all of those stuff.
On banks, mining.
Exactly, own anything. So now, if I'm convincing the young person to vote me, and as time goes on, we will not be the same people. We will continue to evolve, and this evolvement means that our thinking also must do what? Evolve.
Must evolve.
So you cannot keep voting an ideology that was for a certain dispensation, and that dispensation has come and gone, but you are still holding on that ideology because they gave you freedom. It is okay, they gave you freedom, but the reason of that freedom was that you should grow as a person.
That's true.
It's not that you should be stuck into where they brought you into.
That's
Makes
right.
sense, right?
I really like that. I really like that, and especially on the economic part, we now have the independence and the freedom, but we are still suffering, which I've also noticed that our young people, um, right, we want change. I'll give you an example of Zimbabwe. We want change as in yesterday's communities, things are not moving, the political side and so forth. And people are so excited about the coming elections, right? You ask them the reasons why they want to vote, they will just be like, we want a change of leadership in my community or nationally, or want this to change, or the other one will say our leadership are doing very well. Right. Now you ask a person, when things change, what do you want to do? What then? Okay, there will be jobs, and money will be coming in the country, then we can do this, we can do that. The person don't have a registered company. The person don't have any skills. The person is not researching on how things work, but they are just waiting to say, when a person leader is voted in, then things will change and money will just flow in the country and business will be flowing and so forth. Which I feel like when we are campaigning and talking about voting, we are not, educating even the voter to equip themselves. Now that you have a very good leader in your community, what then? What do you have as a person? Some leaders are not failing, but the community don't have skilled people. The community don't have ready people. Yeah, a young person, you ask a young person today, right? You are a young person, you want to be in parliament, you want to be a new leader, you want to be a councillor. Fine. What experience do you have? What do you know about leadership? So are we ready as young people to embrace the change or to be part of the change that we are asking? Are we really ready? Are we equipped? Can we look at young Africans and say they now have and be able to bring solutions? Are we ready to be the leaders that we are looking for? Are we ready to step in and take over from the leaders that we say they are not delivering?
So,
Yes, yes.
so my answer to that is a capital yes, and I will explain to you. I will explain to you. See, in 1950s to 1960s, when our forefathers, like our heroes, people like Kenneth Kaunda of Zambia, Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, this guy Thomas Sankara, and all of these guys, and when they were fighting for independence, these were people who were fighting not just for their stomach or not their family. They really had Africa in their mind. You could see that in their action. You could see that how they were ruling their people and all of those stuff. You could see how tired they were with the system that was oppressing their people. Some of these guys, they went to Europe and they studied. When they saw what was happening with their people, they became so angry. And when they came and started ruling, you could see that in their leadership. In their leadership style, they could go to some extent to make sure that they equip their people. They could go to some extent to make sure that even the people that do not have the skill, do not. If you read the story of Thomas Sankara, there were times that he will mobilize his people to be doing manual jobs and whatsoever. He will be leading them in front. So he will not be waiting for people who have skills, bringing those skills to you guys.
Yeah.
So these were the people that told us that it is possible for us to stand on our own. We do not need the West. Then immediately these guys, their dispensation was over. We start producing the form of leaders that I call the curse of Africa. We start producing them. People like Mutuboti Sese Seko of Zaire. People like Sani Abacha of Nigeria. The list goes on. These were people that came into power, and all that they knew how to do was to embezzle. They now change the definition of what a typical African leader should be. And now the world begin to look at us as people who cannot lead, people who lack integrity, people who are corrupt people. These were the people that turned the wheel, and we are where we are today. It became like example. And every other leader in Africa, when they come into power, they begin to loot money, they begin to embezzle money, they begin to build houses in Europe and whatsoever. The money that Sani Abacha stole from Nigeria, up to today, they haven't brought all the money back to Nigeria, because the Swiss bank says if they bring the whole money back, if they withdraw the whole money from Swiss bank, the bank will collapse.
Wow.
You see, so I'm coming to the question of whether the young people are ready to rule or not. Now, we are faced with a situation whereby the rest of the world look at us with the eyes of pity. Our people are dying in the sea. If you go to every embassy, every American embassy on African continent, or any European embassy on African continent, the number of people seeking to leave Africa on everyday basis is more than in fact, if we put together, it's more than 1 million on a daily basis. There are places in Africa that if you go there, the whole town doesn't even have just one doctor, not even one. But if we tell you how many doctors in that area are in Europe, you will be surprised. So it has come to a point whereby the young people of Africa do not have leadership. They do not have a structure that they can be able to channel their talent, their opportunities, their energies, and everything. They do not have a particular leadership. So now the only thing they decide to do is to run away and go to places that they can be able to be appreciated. So now these young people, they turn back and they are saying, and this thing I'm telling you is what is in the heart of every Black person living in the diaspora. They are asking themselves, is this how we are going to continue? Is this how our children, because there is no way that they will treat you better in the mainland than in your home country. It is not possible. But you do not have a choice because your home is on fire. You don't want to be there because of hunger. You don't want to be there because of hardship. You don't want to be there because you might die of poverty. That's why you run away. But the question that me and the rest of the young people across the continent are asking is this: how long are we going to continue like this? So if you see any leadership, I'm talking of true young person, true African young person, if they're going into leadership now, it is not about themselves, but they're going into leadership out of frustration. And I bet you they will be able to do something because they are not doing it for themselves, but they are doing it for the rest of the generation that is after them.
That's right. So who is going to lead Africa if all of us see that the house is on fire and decide to just leave? It's been years, King Fazan. It's been years, our young people migrating to Europe, to the West. When is it going to be that time where we're going to have the great exodus, where our young people, are, or young and old people, who now have got the right skills to lead the country, say, enough is enough, we are coming back to rebuild Africa? Because right now we're not being taken serious. Of course, we can say it's because of our leadership. We are not being taken serious because of our leadership. But as young people, what is our solution to all of this? We have the good examples of our heroes. What did they do when they saw that they were being mistreated by the whites? They went out to fight for their country. Yes, they ran away and went somewhere where they educated themselves, where they equipped themselves, and they came back on the ground to fight. We might not want to go the same route of carrying guns and all that, but we are smart enough to come up with any other way to fight. We cannot keep on running from our countries and be in diaspora forever. The skills that we acquired in for the past 10 years, how are we bringing it back to build our communities and to pay the local teacher or to pay the local doctor decent money so that he doesn't leave?
I think that is a very good question, and the answer to that is the time is now. The time is now. The only thing that we are left with to do is to unite, and what I termed unity for purpose.
Yeah.
We are all saying one thing though, so we just have to come together and find a common purpose of how we are going to execute this. Because somebody asked me the same question and said, when exactly do you think Africa is going to be free?
Mm-hmm.
But I know who is going to do that. And we are the people. You see, I'm wearing this, and I don't know whether you can be able to read it there. It reads
21st century African.
21st century African. So we are the generation to save Africa. We might not even have the blueprint of how we are going to do it. We might not have the blueprint of when we're going to do it, but we are the people. And what I always tell the young people across the continent is that if we fail Africa, if we fail Africa in our generation, because what you see now is a wave, right? It's a wave, and it's not going to last forever. And if you look very well, 10 years back, such topics that we're discussing, not many people will follow it. No. Our young people will tell you that, no, let me go and dance, let me go and have fun and all of those stuff 10 years back. But now, go on social media and you will be surprised how many young people on TikTok followed what I say. How many young people, I'm talking of young as 24, who are so excited when they hear me talk about this very topic we're talking about here. You will be surprised.
That's right.
I give an example. I went to Jimmy's. They invited me for, it was a gathering for young people. So there were musicians, there were all those kind of people. They were there in attendance. So everybody was performing and all of those things. When I came to the stage to talk, I could see the engagement that these young people were having with me. They were excited. They were so eager to listen to what I was saying. When we finished the show, remember, I'm talking of young people down as the age of 14. When we finished the show, the only person that these young people wanted to take picture with, take his number, was me. Because they wanted to hear me more. They wanted to know more about Africa. They wanted to have a knowledge that nobody has ever told them. Why am I telling you this? The stage is set for us right now. We should not do it for the sake of self-glory. No. To become popular is very easy. There is TikTok. People become popular by dancing naked. Yeah. People become popular by doing dumb nonsense. Those are things that people become popular with. We are not looking for popularity. We want to save our people. You understand? So we are doing it. Yeah, we are doing it not for popularity contest. We are not doing it for money, because obviously in fact, the message that we preach, there is no company on African continent that will sponsor you. Never. They will not. That's right. Because what you're doing, you are educating the people. And the more people are ignorant, the better for them.
Yeah. I love that. And yeah, that's so true. When we look at 10 years ago, I think we could have been speaking about this, but the number of people that joined in the fight, next to zero. But now, go to high schools, they are more than willing, and they are so proudly African and want to play a role in rebuilding Africa in whatever sense that might be. So it's so great to see that you are still pushing, you are still making sure that as young as 14, they are listening to the word. They wake up each and every morning to listen to such message of rebuilding Africa. Now, is there any engagement with relevant departments? I'm talking government departments, your education department, anywhere in Africa, where you are trying to share this message and your book, the 40 Voters' Commandments? Any relevant departments that is willing to work with you? Can be the department through schools, can be your social department, and so forth.
Like you know what happened is that these people, our so-called leaders, they survive on the ignorance of the masses. I just said it, and the message that
which is quite opposite to what our leaders survived on. Our leaders survived on the unity of the masses, the support of the masses.
But then the support of the masses what they do is that they tell them a lie, and they keep them under, they unite them under that lie, right? So me, I'm coming in here to tell them that you should not allow anybody to lie to you. You should not be vulnerable for any form of lie. So my message is not a message whereby, in fact, a typical politician will not like my book, because it exposes them. It says stuff that the lies that you've been lying to people for so many years, they might just wake up, and the very people who are closer to you might just wake up and tell you that, you know what, we are no longer fools anymore. So I've not had any department that we actually said this kind of book should be in high schools or whatsoever. But apart from that, apart from the book, what I'm doing is we have developed a curriculum about Africa. For example, this afternoon I posted something in a group that Robert Mugabe says. He said, like so many years ago, he said, in Africa, English language is compulsory for you to get into varsity, but agriculture is not compulsory. Why are we so much obsessed with something that we're not going to even use it for anything? Why is it that our children are going to study stuff that if they graduate, none of them is going to use it? But that is the curriculum that we have, and nobody sees that as a mistake.
That's right. Our curriculum is something else. Yeah. Yes, go on.
Yeah, so we have developed a curriculum that we want to introduce into schools. But first of all, we want to introduce this as a club in high school. So we don't know whether the Ministry of Education, right now we're doing it in Ghana, in few schools in Ghana. But then here in South Africa, we haven't. Then we want to start it in Kenya also, and all of those stuff. So we do it as a club, whereby students meet every Friday. They just meet as a club, and they read some of the books about Africa, and they get educated about Africa. They get educated about the things that you should do as an African on the African continent in order for you to be useful to yourself, right? Because if I'm doing psychology, right? Do a typical Black person need a psychologist? No, I just need my grandfather. He will tell me anything that I have to know. I just need an old woman in the community to sit with her, and she will tell me anything that I need to know, and all of those stuff. So all of these things will now come together with these young people. We tell them this is what is relevant on the African continent. This is the multi-million course that you should do in school if you are going to be on the continent. I think Martha is having a problem with network. I think she's having a problem with the network, so wait for her. So I think for those of you who want to get that book, because it's yes, I saw she's back right now. The network is.
My network checked for some reason.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. As I was asking earlier, what are the three most important commandments from your book that you would say these are the three most important that you want anybody and everybody to remember before they can cast their vote?
Okay, so The one that I am obsessed with, and the one that makes us do certain stuff. The first one is, thou shalt not sell your integrity to anybody, no matter how hungry you are. So let me explain that. Let me explain that commandment for you. Now, it is easy for me to stand here and say, no, you should not give your vote out. You should not give your vote out. But how about that person that have not eaten the whole week? And here comes this politician with a bag of rice and say, you vote for me, you have this bag of rice. What do I expect that person to do? If I sit here and said, no, do not take the bag of rice, then I am lying to myself. But there is just one thing. When we know why, when a human being knows why he's doing something, he can go through anything to achieve that thing, anything. And it's just so it's just so much of a blessing that Queen Shimba is having me on her show today, because Queen Shimba knows my story. The things that I have sacrificed in order for me to even be able to be here where I am. I'm not saying I'm somewhere, but then for me to be here right now from where I used to be. So there are certain things in life that you got to say, you know what? I'm a dead person already. What is it? It's better I die. If I die completely, then I die, because there is no different. I give you example with the story in the Bible whereby the people with leprosy that were cast out of the city in their home town in Israel. They were cast out of the city. So these guys, they were outcast from their own hometown. Right now, the Assyrians were people that the Israelites were fighting with. So now these people were dying of hunger. These outcasts were dying of hunger. So they told themselves that, you know what? If we stay here, we're going to die anyway. If we go into the camp of the enemy, we're still going to die. Maybe they will show us a little bit of mercy, and we will eat some food. So it's between, like, you do not have a choice. So what you got to do is to do the right thing. Because if you say you're not going to do the right thing, you are still going to get the same result. You understand? So no matter how hungry they have made you, do not. I do not have food, it's okay. But then if I vote this guy here, he might not be able to give me that bag of rice now. But when he makes this road, when he gives me the electricity, then I might be able to start a business that I will be out of the shame of poverty. So once again, the commandment said, thou shalt not give your vote to anybody. Sorry, thou shalt not sell your integrity to anybody, no matter how hungry you are. Do not. That is
that's
one.
Really a tough one.
Yes. That is one. The second one that is almost like that one. It says it shouldn't be about what he will give to you when he ascends to power, but it should be about what he will do to this community when he ascends to power. So I think I made mention of that commandment when we started this.
Yes, earlier.
I love it. I love it so much, because these guys, they take advantage of that. Now, the time for election is coming. The guy that doesn't even know the road to your village will now come there. All of a sudden, he is now telling you of how much he's gonna help you and whatsoever. My man, you give him your vote. Let's see what will happen. He will not even remember the road back to your place. So it should, it shouldn't be about the $50 that he will give to you. Let him promise the whole community. In fact, and another thing that we should start doing in the 21st century is this: when you are making promises, you are writing them down, and when you fail it, we will take you to court. It's a promise. You sign. You sign. You said, okay, cool. I said I'm gonna make this road. I said I'm gonna restore electricity. You said that, right? Sign it here. You sign it. We're gonna give you this, and when you sign it, we have it. 3 years into your power,
we should be holding them to accountable. We should hold them accountable
all the time, all the time, all the time. See, I don't know how many people are viewing us that are soccer fans, but then in that sport called soccer, there is no way, as a manager of a club, you do not deliver a complete season and we allow you to still be the coach of that place. Never. It's not going to happen. We take you out.
Listen, so it should always be the service.
They take you out. So and the people that fires a coach, it's actually not the owners of the club, it's the fans, right? So it's not the government that will take you out as a bad leader. We, the voters, will take you out.
I wish that was so easy, you know. You are making a very great point, especially in soccer. The fans, when they say we don't want this person,
we don't want you. That's what goes. We don't want you. And when we say, when the fans start saying we do not want you, there is nothing that the owners of the club will do. They will fire you.
Yeah, you are not delivering.
You are not. The whole season there is no trophy. So what? The whole tenure, like 5 years, you have nothing to show for it, and you are still coming here.
And you need more 5 years.
And you need more 5 years to do what? You should be in prison.
So you understand, like the leaders that we have right now is the ones that are leading in these relevant departments that I was mentioning earlier on. So to go with such a message, you are threatening a lot of jobs. You are threatening a lot of positions.
Exactly.
So
that's why I told you.
Want to take us out.
Yes, that is why I told you my book is not. It's not that book that if we say, oh, kumbaya, let's come and read. No. It's actually a book that if they have their power, they will say, no, you know what? Do not read that one. Do not. Because it takes the power from them and give it to the masses. There is something I said, I think one of the commandments is not one of the three though, but it's just a commandment. I said, there is no power that the most powerful leader has that hasn't been given to him by the masses. You understand? So your most powerful leader that think he cannot be dethroned, the power that he has is given to him by the masses. If the masses say, yeah, you know what, we're tired of you, get out of here, he will get out. No matter the connections you have with the West, you will still get out. You see? So let me complete the third commandment that I love so much. It talks about, it shouldn't be about the person who goes to the same church, or is the same tribe, or he is, okay, it shouldn't be about the person who goes to the same church or who is the same tribe with you that determines whether you vote them or not. This one right here, this is the one that has been crippling Africa. Election is coming. And I will give example of Nigeria. Nigeria is split into two, the Muslim and the Christian. This tenure here that was said is the Muslim. This tenure here that was said is the Christian. But wait a second. So somebody told me that you got to vote this person because he's a Christian. I said, okay, he's a Christian, and what? And what? And what? Is that the only reason why I'm voting him? He said, yeah. You know, the last 10 years it was Muslim president that we had. This time we must have a Christian. Like, okay, wait. I'm asking you a question. After being a Christian, he's what again? Because what I want to know is the person who can fix the corrupt system in Nigeria. Is the person that can fix the poor roads. Is the person that can end that demarcation that we have between the rich and the poor in Nigeria. That is the person I'm looking for to vote. I don't care if that person does not even belong to any religion. I'm going to vote the person.
That's right. That's right. So I think the person is on these groups. They just look at it like, okay, we are a Christian community. So if we were to bring somebody from another religion, they're going to mess up our beliefs and all that, which is not a wrong thing. But within that community of Christians that you want to protect, can't you choose the right candidate? You should have.
But listen, Queen Shumba, that is also a lie. When I'm leading a nation, all the religions that are in that nation, I'm not supposed to take side of any religion because I am a father of the nation. I'm not father of a religious body. And there is no way that a country that has senates representing every constituency, I will come up with a law that favors only the people of my religion. It's not going to happen. These are just political cards. These are just political cards that these people use. They use these political cards to get votes. And hence, I'm telling young Africans that listen, nobody, we're in the 21st century. Nobody should use a religious card or a tribal card. See, do you know that the religious wars and whatsoever we have, a rich Muslim will not mind giving his daughter to a rich Christian? Do you understand what I mean? It will not be hard for them to do that, but it will be hard for a Christian to give his daughter to a fellow poor Christian. So who are we fooling? When these people are in power, and when they're embezzling the money, when they're having meetings to embezzle the money, they have that meeting, both Christians and Muslims together. And the person that you are giving him the vote because he is a Muslim, maybe he does not even really believe in what you believe in. He's just doing it because he want to get votes. You see? So wow. He doesn't even believe in that.
So that when they sit together, I like that because we the voters, we the supporters, we the fans, we are fighting almost every day. Fighting for people who are sitting and making deals together, a Muslim and a Christian, because they are both rich. We sit with political parties, many political party leaders. It is us, the supporters, who are fighting. They don't fight it. They meet in corners to discuss deals on how to make money and whatever. But then here we are, you and I, because I'm Christian. I have to vote in a Christian. Wow, that's actually deep. Never thought that is happening on a daily basis.
You know, they don't want me. They don't want me. They will never want me. They will never want me because of the truth. Because of the truth that I will always vomit out there. They will never want me around them, because I will always say the truth, and I will always. That's why I say my book is not a book that people will say, "Kumbaya, come, let's read the book and whatsoever." I tell you something. The tribal fight of who the tribal fight of this person comes from my tribe. My man, there are two tribes on earth: the rich and the poor. The rich understand the rich, the poor understand the poor. That's all. Don't come and tell me that we're from the same tribe. I can vote anybody who has the capabilities of leading my people, not the person who is speaking the same language with me. The person who is speaking the same language with me, who doesn't have my interest at heart. Sorry?
I was saying, if the person is a Shumba, well, I should be voting in a Shumba for the sake of our tribe.
Wait, Queen Shumba, is that a tribe? Is that your tribe?
Yeah, I'm a Shumba, so yeah, I'm a Shumba, so we have the Shumba people.
Oh, okay.
So we are a clan of our own. You see a lot of our Shumbas. We are so many.
And this is just off the topic, but my clan is also called Shumba, exactly. So when you said
I will talk in the background. We were related. Yeah. I'm buying the book, like, and I'm going around. You are a
Shumba. Yeah. So when you said, I always thought it's just your name, like, but it's great. Yeah. So I was saying they do not want me. They do not want me because the truth must be told, and I am ready to like for me the truth to a lot of people. The one thing I know about the truth is the truth can do two things to you. It can either hurt you or it can change you. For most people that it will hurt them, I'm just a bearer of the truth. Those people that can change them, glory to God. Yeah.
Wow, that's lovely. So, do you think there's a possibility that some of our leaders who are already in government can actually embrace this book? I don't think we have a lot of rotten potatoes. I think some might actually embrace this message, not only for the opposition, but within their political party. You know, there's always those fights within their political party in terms of who takes what position.
Oh, yeah.
I think using that approach, they might actually, wanna know these things, especially the tribal side of things. You would find that they wanna select a leader within their political party to lead them in a certain constituency. Then it goes back to because I'm a Shumba. We no longer want a Shumba, even if I'm a good leader, we no longer want a Shumba. So I do believe that there is still a way for them to embrace the book. It's just how we are going to approach them.
Yeah, I will always want a lot of leaders to, because there is always there's always a room for improvement. I will want a leader. I will want leaders to be better. That is the essence of rebuke sometimes. And there are people who are humble enough to realize that what I'm doing is wrong. And to me, as a person, this has been my formula for good leadership. I listen to people around me, and there are some people that sometimes that criticism is very harsh, but I will like, okay, cool, I learn from what to say and all of those stuff. The challenge comes when we have leaders that are obsessed with whatsoever is the idea that they're holding on. So it will be awesome if I discover that there are leaders, especially those in power, who will say, no, you know what, I will want this book to be out there for many people to read it. And if many people read the book, there will be a different perspective of choosing people. But my fear is this: it goes against any form of shadiness. I don't know whether that is a correct word for English, but the shady politicians, people who are in for themselves. The book vehemently talks about the collective success of a community, and it talks about the selfless service of a leader. So my fear is that somebody who is on the other side of that, when he reads 2 to 3 pages, they will just, because you see, most of the times when we get rebuked, when the truth is told, there are some people who react negatively. So, but having said all of that, I would so much look forward. Yeah, I would so much look forward for young people, not just young people, people across our continent, because leadership has become our problem on the continent. So people across our continent to read the book, and when they read it, they should not just read it like as a novel, but they should read it with like concentration and application. Like if I go to vote next year, first of all, I'm going to ask myself, why am I voting? And second of all, I'm going to ask myself, what will happen if I fail to vote? And if I have all of these ideas with me, then I'm going to get to a point whereby I would tell myself that, you know what, I have to vote. There is a commandment that said you shouldn't wait until you have a microphone to campaign for the right candidate. So I am not campaigning. If tomorrow Queen Shumba is contesting for president of Zimbabwe, and I go and start campaigning for her, I am not even campaigning for her to give me something when she gets into power. No, I'm campaigning for her because I know the benefit that my community will gain if Shumba eventually becomes the president of Zimbabwe. So I want young people, or people who are out there, people who will say, okay, cool, I'm gonna get like 20 copies of this book to give it to like 20 different communities, for people who are educated to come read the book and educate other people about the book. And you can be able to even point them to a leader that you think is qualified to take to get hold of power.
That's right. So in other words, when you have identified a young person or an old person, a very good leader, we can always start campaigning for that person to take over. They don't have to really, be in office. Wow, this is quite heavy, because we've got a lot of leaders or people with leadership qualities who are not in government, who are not in any position. But I know that being in government is something that can assist a leader to push for policy changes, to deliver a lot of stuff that they would not do when they are not in. But is there a lot of things that we can actually do without being politicians? Change that we can influence without being politicians? Is it even possible in Africa? I know we've got quite a number of people who are doing that, philanthropy, business, your NPOs and stuff. But can we go beyond that without being in government?
Yeah. So well, when we talk of government leadership, is the policy that actually determines everything, right? We will have a philanthropist who decide to build a school in a community. That is great. We might have a philanthropist who decide to build hospitals. Then we have electricity problem. you understand what I mean? Then there is no electricity. Then there are no good roads. You understand you understand where I'm going, right? Now, then there are no good roads. The hospital that we have now will be messed up because of what? There's no electricity. The school that we build,
that's right,
it will be hard for children across the community to attend the school because the roads are just too poor. When it rains, there is no bicycle that can even go on those roads. Then now the effort. See, okay, cool. This book is just awesome. There is a commandment for that. It says, no matter our effort to build a prosperous community, it will always be frustrated if we continually vote people with no vision in our offices.
wow.
So it's not that the citizens cannot do something for their the citizens who are well to do. It's not that they cannot do something for their community. They can do it, but how much can their help be of use? I can decide to say, okay, cool, I'm starting a beauty salon, a very big beauty salon for 20 ladies here in my community. Then all of a sudden there is no electricity. How are they going to operate? They live in the country whereby electricity comes just 2 days in a week. What are they going to do? A country that doesn't have water running in their taps.
Yeah. It becomes a challenge. Now we need leaders, good leaders in government, in decision-making positions. We are left with 8 minutes to go. I need to hear at least 2 or 3 more commandments, if that's possible, just to educate a young person sitting somewhere, listening, and thinking, I need to vote next year, but who do I vote for? How do I vote? Why am I voting? Any 2 to 3 more that we can be able to wrap up in the next 7 minutes.
Okay, so another commandment has to deal with the thuggery in political arena, whereby these people are able to use the young people in order for them to gain power whatsoever. This commandment says that nobody's political ambition is worth an iota of your blood. Stay away from politicians that will kill in order to stay in power. So this one right here, if for a young person with a future, if for a young person with great dreams, do not allow somebody to give you couples of dollars to be a hitman. You are better than that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so you are better than that. So I see this book as a very powerful book for our people. It's not even about me being the writer. It's just me being the carrier of the message. That's all. So the reason why it's so important for me that people should get a copy of the book is how much it enlightened people. So the other commandment tells you on how to know. Yeah, the other commandment tells you how to know the right person you are campaigning for. So it says, be watchful of the way your candidate talks about his opponent. Right? Now, be watchful of how your candidate talks about his opponent. Any candidate that see politics as a game of do or die affair is not supposed to play in our political arena. It's not a game of do or die affair. I like that. Yes. You understand?
The focus,
it's not a game of
especially during campaign.
Yes.
The focus sometimes is on the opponent, not on the delivery or the vision.
Exactly. So if you are telling me all the bad things of that person I want to hear the things that you want to do for us when you come into power. Stop telling me about the bad things that whatever. So any politician who see politics as a game of do or die affair, he can even eliminate his opponent in order to get into power. No, that person is not a leader. He's a power monger.
That's right.
And if we support a person like that, just leave them alone. Don't associate with them. Just leave them alone.
Yeah, they'll be more than willing to just do that to anybody and everyone who opposes them.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, in the next 4 minutes, what is your message to a person out there who haven't bought your book? And where do they find the book? How do they contact you? I know those who are on my groups can always inbox me if you need more information on the book. Matarinda Matashumba on Facebook, on our WhatsApp. You all have my WhatsApp number, and you can always inbox us on Facebook, Radio 54 African Panorama Live, and we'll get the book for you. It's on Amazon. Actually, you can go on King Fazan with the information on how to get the book.
Yeah, I actually sent you the link of the Amazon link that you could just click there. The good thing with Amazon is that the good thing with Amazon is that they will deliver the hard copy right at your doorstep. And so my advice for people who have not bought the book is that please buy the book. Please buy the book. If you want to vote anybody, please read the book before you will vote somebody. Somebody might be your blood brother, but after reading this book, you might tell the person that, you know what, we're siblings, but I still love you as my brother, but I can't trust you with leadership. That is where we want to get.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. It's quite difficult to separate that from people, from our voters, but it's possible if they've got enough information. Yes, and are really educated in terms of why are they voting, who they should vote for, and what a good leader is all about. Because people just think a good leader is a person who is very good in speaking, their oratory skills and so forth, but the delivery is zero. We vote in popular people. We vote in people who know how to speak. It's good. They can be able to sell the vision to the world and so forth. But in terms of action, you can't keep talking for the next 5 years when you've got 1 million youth who are crossing the border every minute, looking for a job. Speaking, for the next 5 years, when we've got young people dying in hospitals, the education system is messed up. We've got a migrant crisis in another country. So those are the things that we need to look at and say, are we voting the right leaders, and what qualifies a leader as a good leader? Thank you so much, King Fazan Ajo, who is the author of 40 Voters' Commandments, a book that will change your life if you read this book before you vote. Don't read it after. Before you vote.
Thank you
so much. Thank you so much, King.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Queen, I really appreciate this opportunity, and I'm calling on Zimbabweans to vote right this time.
They will definitely vote right. I'm actually thinking of going to contest, but in my clan where there's a lot of Zumbas, so what they are voting for is not just a good leader, but a shooter.
Okay, that's the reason why. This is the reason why we should get the young people read a book and see the reason why they must choose you. Because I'm not campaigning for you. I'm just telling them that this person that I know has interest of her people, of mine, and that is the only thing that you they need to know to vote. That's all, not to.
Yeah, that's right. I've shared the link on this chat group so that people can be able to just click. Those who want to buy the book, you can always click that link and it will take you straight to Amazon and to purchase the book, read it, then you can vote right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the listeners. Thank you so much to Jeremiah. Sorry. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. That's Jeremiah, who is here with us. And he said the person is not a leader, is a power monger. He's been really with us. And also about the echo. Sorry, King Fazan don't have the earphones, so there's an echo in the background. But that's all right. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day. Till we meet again next Sunday.